Welcome back. I'm Amanda with Healthy House on the Block, and I'm here with our weekly video and tip on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness. This week we're going to do a toxin deep dive. I like to do these every now and then. I think it gives us really good insight as to how to get toxins out of our house. And then it also kind of tells us the reason why we don't want these toxins in our home. I like to share what these toxins are doing in your body, as well as the items that they are in around your house, and then safer options to replace them with. So today we're going to talk about phthalates and how you can get them out of your house, start replacing them with healthier items and products, and how you can prevent this toxin exposure as you stay in your home. So phthalates are often called plasticizers, and this is a group of chemicals that essentially are very difficult to break apart, but they're fairly flexible. Hundreds of products use phthalates, and they range widely from vinyl flooring to personal care products to kids' toys. Phthalates are generally colorless, odorless, and used in products that are long-lasting and very durable. So think flooring, rain boots, basically anything that's going to have to be really durable to moisture and scratching. So the important thing to remember is that phthalates are toxic to our bodies, and we are exposed to phthalates daily. There was actually a study recently released that tells us that phthalates are found in 100% of house dust. That means we are exposed to this toxin constantly. The fact that it's also in our house dust tells us we can very easily remove some of the toxin exposure that we have in our homes. Another large problem is that phthalates build up in our system as we are exposed to more and more of them. The toxicity level actually increases with each exposure, and our body becomes burdened by this toxin, causing poor health impacts. So a few places that you can find phthalates around your home are plastic and vinyl toys, vinyl flooring, shower curtains, food packaging and wrap, detergents, plastic water pipes, cosmetic and personal care products, wallpaper, mini blinds, and even raincoats and rain boots. There's actually studies that have shown that we ingest phthalates when we eat food that is packaged in plastic containers. So children can ingest phthalates as well when they chew on soft or vinyl plastic toys. You can also breathe in phthalates. This is the most common when there's a fixed item in your home that contains phthalates. If you look at the list above, you could deduce that flooring, mini blinds, wallpaper, and shower curtains could be really big culprits here. The particles from these end up in our dust, and we can breathe them in. And then finally, you can have skin contact with phthalates by touching them or wearing them on your body. So when you're shopping for items that maybe are packaged in plastic, or even just bringing plastic items into your home, I'm going to give you a list that's going to help you determine if these products contain phthalates or not. So this little list is going to be your best friend. This tells us if there are phthalates in a product that we can get the ingredients for. So one of the really important things to know is how phthalates are impacting your health. This helps us create a why when it comes to removing this toxin from our home. And I will tell you that children are generally at a higher risk than adults when it comes to phthalates. In this case, it is because phthalates are in many plastic toys that children have, and these toys end up in their mouths. They have typically poor hand-to-mouth habits as well, and so any phthalates that end up in dust are generally ingested by our kiddos. It's also important to remember that kids are often given plastic plates, cups, and utensils to eat on, heightening their risk again. So in children, their exposure is often well over the EPA's allotted limits for phthalates, and studies also show that prenatal exposure to phthalates is linked to the worst health outcomes in children and newborns. Phthalate exposure has been linked to abnormal reproductive development, as well as neurological toxicity in kids and actually in adults as well. So some phthalates are known endocrine disruptors, and this means that they hinder our natural hormone production and can in turn cause issues with the thyroid, immune system, and reproductive process. There's an in-depth study that states that recent studies also show prenatal exposure to phthalates is associated with adverse impacts on neurological development, including lower IQ, and even problems with attention and hyperactivity, and poor social communication as well. So a really big tip that I have when you're shopping is to look for products that, when they have the recycled triangle, do not contain the number 3. And we also want to make sure they don't have a PVC or a V in the code to make sure that these do not contain phthalates in that plastic. I also recently started using Target's new search feature that you can actually include products that are phthalate free when you're searching for items in their store with online. You can also shop for items using the Think Dirty app when you're looking for personal care items. There are a few other places I really love to use when I'm shopping. Mighty Nest is one of them. They have a lot of options that are healthier and more sustainable for our home. On the blog this week, if you head over to that post, I have it linked in the description. I'm also sharing a list of ways that you can swap out toxin-free flooring, plastic-free kids' toys, natural shower curtains, and then natural rubber rain gear to help you avoid phthalate exposure in your house. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you can find at least one way to make your home a little healthier this week based on the information that I gave you. You can also head to this week's blog post, which I have linked in the video description, and that will give you even more ideas and more specific products that you can swap out in your own home. I will be back again next week, and I hope you will join me for another video on creating an indoor space that truly supports your health and your wellness.